Peace, y'all. Peace to the family, peace to the family. What's goody, what's goody? We're here now. What's happening? Good afternoon. TGIF and all that fly shit. Killing this veggie patty. Peace, y'all. Peace, peace, peace. Oh, shout out from East New York. All right. You like the rap? Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. This is my good brother, Kyrie, young Kyrie. He's blessed me with this glow in the dark and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all of the designers who have sent me boxes of their clothes and whatnot. Paradise in Hell. Shout out to Paradise in Hell. Shout out to Ancient Heritage. Right? Hold on, let me show you Ancient Heritage. I'll show you in a minute when I go downstairs. It's in my car and whatnot. But, you know, I'm going to put it out there right now. I don't know if I talked about it before, but I have plans on opening up a store, a brick and mortar, and also an online store in Atlanta that's going to highlight and showcase independent designers and whatnot, right? I'm gonna call it the Mark 125th, okay? Similar to the mall in New York City, Harlem, of the same name. Give me a minute. Niggas cutting the lawn. But the reason behind that, you know, I have a clothing line, Kings County, and you know, I respect, you know, other designers, and I really want to be a liaison for a lot of these brands and whatnot, and get them in the hands of a lot of people who always ask me every time I'm wearing something, "What you wearing? Where can I get that? I like that. That's fly." Let me close this window. This nigga's messing up my flow. They're like, "I like that. That's fly. Where'd you get it?" So I'm like, "Get it from over there. Get it from over there. Get it from over there." But when I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? I might as well just start a store. You know, give me a budget. You know what I mean? Build a store out. And really just highlight all of the powerful, beautiful, independent designers and, you know, contributors to this lifestyle and to this culture. It's people out here making sneakers. It's people out here making book bags. It's people out here making purses. The miners out here making head wraps. It's people out here making jewelry. Shout out to Massive Vibrations. This shit glow in the dark too. Right there in the middle, the orgone glows in the dark. I promise you, no cap. This shit is fire. When the lights go out, I be scaring shorties. Well, yeah. That's gonna be tentatively this summer. You know? And then I also give opportunities for people to work at the store, because I'm not gonna be in the store every day, right? So that'll give the opportunity of somebody in Atlanta who moved down here with the aspirations to be a part of this community, or who moved down here to look for work, or who moved down here and just want to do something other than sitting in the house all day watching Instagram and TikTok. We'll give you the opportunity to be, part of the cooperative. You feel me? So that's in the works. I just put that out there. This might be the first time I spoke about it, but it's definitely in the works. I'm going to be highlighting artists, right? We'll have artwork on the walls. We'll have authors. I have books from some of the top authors in the community, comic books, novels, things of that nature. If you make toys, especially, holler at me. If you make toys, holler at me. We need children's books. I'm not dealing with nothing that's downstairs, though. It has to be conscious. It has to be a vibration. You feel me? They have enough outlets to push the mundane. I'm dealing with the higher level shit. I wanna support, and I wanna sell, and I wanna push high level quality products, because this lifestyle that we live, this is upper echelon lifestyle. This ain't no bottom feeder. No more. This, the days of the poor righteous teacher and people that are conscious looking like they dusty. Them days is over, my friend. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we woke and wealthy right now. Not broke and healthy. We woke and wealthy. We gotta look the part. We gotta look the part. You know what I mean? You gotta smell the part. Your aromatherapy should be on point. Your locks should be freshly twisted. Your aromatherapy, your cologne, your oils, everything should be what it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? You should be given royalty wherever you go. Even if you dress down, my niggas, you should be looking a certain type of way. You feel me? So we're going to facilitate that. I'm not the end all be all for that, but I'm going to play my part. You feel me? I have a part to play, and that part, I will play that part. You know what I mean? So I want to bring a guest on because I have an event coming up tomorrow in the AM. Peace, Strutting Peacock. How you doing? I have an event in the AM, and it's going to be on KTL University. Pardon me, I got distracted for a minute. It's going to be on KTLUniversity.com, right? This is a monthly class. This is the third one that we'll be doing. I'm going to have a brother who is considered to be one of the sharpest master students on the scene right now when it comes to science and metaphysics. There's a lot of young brothers and sisters out there doing the work, and I salute every single one of y'all. Peace and love and whatnot. This brother right here is of a special class and whatnot. This brother is, assisting with the upgrade of our community with his conversation and whatnot. And he's also displaying real-time magic, right? Real-time magic in real time. And what I mean by that is the brother has been instrumental in showing and proving, putting his name on the line, his reputation on the line. He's been putting a lot on the line to come up with the color of the number and the color of not just the day, but of the moment, right? The last color was purple, right? And the brother has been dead on ever since he been calling out them colors and them numbers and whatnot. And the way that he is able to explain it is that the great divine speaks through signs, right? But what he's not doing is he's not keeping his formula and his science to himself, right? He has the right to do that. But what he's doing is he's in teacher mode, and he has a classroom of students. We call them KT aliens, right? Note alleged KT aliens. And those students are their lives are improving as a result of taking this science and applying it, right? We know that we are extraterrestrials. We know that the Palladians are on the planet. We know a lot of things. We know about the ice wall and all of that, right? But what we would fare better knowing, right, and what would improve our situation on this planet is if we were to understand the science of who we are, if we were to understand how to manipulate the quote unquote sun's rays to our benefit, if we understand the science of, the molecular structure of ourselves and whatnot. Science, period. It builds confidence. One of the reasons why they're doing all of these plays and whatnot on the internet with these shootings and all of the fear campaigns is because they're speaking to a populace who does not know who they are. And as a result of us being ignorant to who we are and what affects us, these people are able to play psychological operations on us at every single turn. If we were an educated consumer, we would be able to throw that shit back in their face and be like, Astaghfirullah, I'm not falling for the bullshit because I know who I am. I know I'm an energetic being and whatnot. And I know that you're trying to pull my frequency down. And when you lower my frequencies, it's going to do what? It's going to open me up for more dis-ease and whatnot. It's going to open me up for more falsehoods. It's going to open me up for more programming. And when they program your mind, they can affect your body the same way, right? Mind detect mind, mind, body, and soul and whatnot. So when you understand your power and you stand in it, that builds, not only does it build confidence, but it opens up the door for magic to happen. And when I talk about magic, don't think that I'm referring to Harry Potter type of magic. What I'm referring to is the manipulation of the four elements: fire, air, earth, and water and whatnot, right? Being able to manipulate the elements, being able to have the great divine, being able to tap into what is known as symbol literacy, being able to really know that the universe is an open canvas and whatnot, and is always speaking to you continuously. It's the fact that our ignorance, we have blinders on our eyes and we cannot see the truth for what it is, even when it stares us in our face. And it has to do with the lack of what we might not know and whatnot. So I've committed myself to be on a constant journey to humble myself and always be in the classroom. I don't care what anybody, oh, you a master teacher. I'm not a master teacher. You know what I'm saying? You love the head wrap? Oh, thank you. Yeah, this glows in the dark. You know what I'm talking about? I'm always in class. I'm a master student. You feel me? And I play my part. I do what I need to do to get things done and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? On camera and off camera. But one of the things that I know is that I don't know everything. So I humble myself and I sit in the class, and I'm always going to be learning, even when I'm teaching. When I'm teaching sometimes, I'm learning at the same time. Like when I'm doing my lectures, I'll be like, shit, I learned something today. You know what I'm talking about? What's the necklace on my neck called? It's the third eye. Master Vibrations 13 is the company that does it. Let me go downstairs. I'm going to go outside a little bit. I need some air. But I did all of this to intro my good brother, Alkebulan. So without any further ado, I'm going to open up the floor for the master scientist. And the link is right there pinned, KTL University. You could go and get your tickets. You see the glow? You see the glow? Well, hold on. You see the glow? Wait a minute. You see the glowing thing? Yeah, your boy is glowing. Hold
on. Yo, shout out to the family. Yo, shout out to Red. That was a beautiful introduction, my brother.
I got inspired. I was downloading it.
I can tell. Yeah, you was going in.
Thank you.
Yeah, no. Peace to the family. Regular scheduled programming. You know, we got the class on Saturday. Tomorrow at 11 a.m., so, it's going to be a very monumental build, as of course, like I said, I'm a continuous narrative, right, of me disclosing information, that is really going to help us, in real time. Again, we claim to be gods and goddesses, but we got to demonstrate that, in real life. You know what I'm saying? My goal is to leave a legacy, and really, begin to, write our script in the book that's being written as we speak. So 30,000 years from now, we look back and our kids can say, well, damn, look what Alkebulan, my papa was doing back then. Got big ass statues of him down somewhere in Kemet and things of that nature. So time is of the essence, you know what I'm saying? And we don't got time to be wasting. So, my thing is, again, we got to start moving forward, and really begin to, inscribe this book that's being written in real time. I call it the cosmic narrative. And yeah, we're in some dire times, but, like you said, okay, yeah, you feeling yourself today, Ray. I see the drip.
It's a Friday, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm a hard.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, class tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern time. We really be tapping again into some high level information. Uh, and like I said, like Red said, it's all about healthy. The aesthetics is different now. We're developing a whole new community. So, you
Right.
got to part, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to the Yard. I want to shout them out, because I'm always wearing their stuff. Shout out to Ghetto Guys. That's who got me the hat. I'm never even wearing my stuff because again, I believe that these individuals who was creating this aesthetic is a key component, and what we got going on. I always say the clothes, basically is ancient iconography that stimulates the interest, of that ancient information that's encoded within us and it brings it to the conscious mind or the surface.
Right.
Yes, we serve as symbology, right? And the clothes do the same. So it's, life imitates art. So, these people who are developing this merchandise, are key pieces into this, story that's playing out. So
Look
that's why I feel like it's
here,
important to always promote what we got going on. Huh?
super need a uniform, right?
So yeah.
Uniformity in uniform, because I always bring this up. If a red truck pulled up to fight a fire and a whole bunch of men hopped off with hoodies on and whatnot and overalls, you would be like, that's not a firefighter. And you would feel the kind of way.
Right.
Uniformity speaks to, unity. So the fact that we collectively are looking a certain type, I don't want the felony look. I don't want, when I'm in the crowd, I need to stand out. You know what I mean? Real quick, shout out to Ancient Heritage with
Oh
the
man, they got bags in. Yeah.
yeah. Shout
Yeah.
out to Ancient Heritage. They got me right. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, they got the bucket. You know, they got T-shirts. You feel me? Mad T-shirts.
Yo, I be mad impressed with Ancient Homage because they done hooked me up a few times and the detail is so crazy.
The,
Like
no,
uh,
not just the detail, the packaging.
the packaging is ill. Yeah, the packaging is
The packaging. I was like, damn, y'all not playing. You
no, they're
feel
not.
me? So
Yeah.
I'm in the South, right? This is the home of manufacturing and factories and whatnot. Um, because of the location of where we are in the South, I'm feeling a little more creative and whatnot. Shout out to my good peoples. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I'm my brain is, it's not like I'm restricted like I was in the East Coast, and nothing against the East Coast, but the East Coast is more of a cerebral type of place. This is where the thinkers are from, but we don't have access to the resources that people in the South have access to. We don't have big factories. Look at the size of this house. You dig what I'm saying? You can't find that in New York and New Jersey like that unless your peoples locked it down when they came, fourth generation and type things. So there's opportunities in the South that don't exist in other places. And I'm like, yo, I wanna be on the forefront of helping to push this lifestyle, these brands. I'm not just focusing on me, because at the end of the day, that's I'm putting myself in competition. I rather, instead of compete, I rather collaborate,
That's a
because I
fact. Yeah.
collaboration, I've been able to, make most of my breakthroughs through collaboration and whatnot, by
Mhm.
shifting the focus off of me and bringing it to the collective and whatnot. So I could unconsciously and consciously send a signal out that we are evolving, that we are coming up, that we are on the come up. Not I'm on the come up. I did it by myself. I don't know nobody. I don't follow nobody on Twitter. All of that shit. That's ego. That's not that that might have flew a few years ago, a few months ago, but based off of what's going on around us, that's not gonna work anymore. These people out here acting up, making noise. Let me go back upstairs. That's not gonna work no more.
Yeah,
You
no. And that's why I said I don't even wear my stuff anymore. Like I'm always wearing somebody, who I support merchandise. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about getting the word out. And again, like I said, this is ancient iconography. So when you see the symbols that we're wearing and things of that nature, again, that stimulates the interest of that information that's naturally encoded within us, and it brings it to the conscious mind. So these individuals are, again, supreme, artists who are really doing some very monumental things. And again, we're wealthy behind closed doors. We're rich behind closed doors. Again, it's a narrative that we're pushing in reference to looking the part. And it's not about being broke and looking a certain way in order to appease to the people. We got to come with a level of motivation. We gotta match the materialism with the spirituality. Because that's a certain level of balance, but that's just who we are as a people. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's just what it is. And again, the clothes match that. You know what I'm saying? So, that's an important factor in it.
Right. Shout out to Source Guard in the building.
Yeah. Shout out to Source Guard.
In a day and time where getting a job or alternative income is challenging, we, community network wise, collectively, I won't tell nobody what they need to do, because that's not the energy. What you could be doing is you could be saying to yourself, my net worth is my network, right? If I was to consolidate 1,000 of my quote unquote alikes, people that look like me, people that walk and talk like me and think like me, and we would say to ourselves, I'm only buying something from you, right? I'm only buying shea butter from you. I'm only buying t-shirts from you. I'm only buying drip from you. I'm going to be your billboard, right? But I want a vested interest. For me to have a vested interest in your company, let's do it like the white boys do. Let's do it like they're doing in Web3 and whatnot. Let's do it like they're doing with the cryptocurrency. In order for me to push you, let me get some equity. You know what I mean? You got a company, you got an LLC. All right, boom. Is there any shares that you're selling? Is there any, what's the incentive for me to really, because I'm going to make you, I'm going to put wings on that shit. When I put it on, it gets put on. You know what I'm talking about? I'll put you on, putting that shit on. So my thing is this: we can empower one another just with the simple things that we have in our lifestyle, right? Mm-hmm. Hair care products, skin care products, regular underwear and socks. Very important. We overlook underwear and socks. That's something that everyone must wear. Bras and panties. That is something that we all buy from these stores and whatnot. There's machines online where you could buy the underwear and socks machines. There's factories all up and down the Midwest and the South that produce jeans, t-shirts, underwear, socks, all of that. So my whole thing is this: the power is in the network. Go and Google something called the 1,000 True Fan Theory, the 1,000 True Fan Theory, and they've applied that to many other things. But what it spoke of is that if you have 1,000 true fans as a musician, and those 1,000 fans spend $1,000 a year, right? $1,000 a year, you good. Yeah. As an independent artist, they buy your merch, they buy your ticket. They're called super fans. Anything that you drop, you know how Griselda has that wave where anything that they put out merch wise, that shit sells out like this.
Yeah.
Right? You see the Kanye wave with the Yeezys and the drops that he does. Mm-hmm. He puts it out and it's gone. He tweaked the formula to where Kanye probably has 100,000 true fans.
And that's key what you said with Griselda, because Griselda, a lot of people don't know that they're known for their fashion. They're coming out of their brand. But see, again, what I love about it is that they're actually passionate about what they do. They put detail and they put attention into the actual fabrics and the material, the quality of it, the art behind it. The aesthetics is crazy with Griselda. Like, that's why I fuck with, their merchandise, because it's just the fine taste in art that I love about it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the fashion is key. The fashion is key. And again, I don't want people to feel like, you know, because you're conscious, you can't be materialistic. Like, you can love fashion, you can love nice things, but at the same time, you know, of course, it comes with a level of balance. And you know, like Red said, we got to start putting more value into ourselves.
Right.
And the value, again, outside of even clothes, like people who've been following me, again, know, because you know, Red mentioned that there's you know, machines that you can buy that literally make underwear and bras and things of that nature. It's all in reference to cutting out that middleman. And for those who've been following me, they know that I'm in school for mechatronic engineering. So what I'm doing is I'm applying value to myself, and I'm going to learn how to build electric circuits. I'm going to learn how to build computers. I'm going to learn how to build robots. So that way, you know, when we introduce this information to the public, not only can we teach it, but then we can also, again, add another sector to what we got going on outside of merchandise. So then we got the merchandise. We got somebody ahead of the technology. We got somebody ahead of the teaching, the information. We got now we're in the process of building out infrastructure, schools, universities that house all these subjects in one place. So not now we have something that's conducive for all of us to stimulate the mind. Now we can also match the mind with the aesthetics as far as what we wear. So it's just a continuous snowball effect. So again,
Right.
that's I'm doing my due diligence and introducing myself to a higher level of information when it comes to engineering. And you know, that couples with the information that I deliver, and that I'm also going to be delivering tomorrow in the class, is because I'm always speaking from a very scientific lens, and I'm speaking from an electrical engineer's perspective. So I know how to juxtapose the black body with the electric circuit. I know how to juxtapose the black body to a computer, because, you know, for school, this is what I'm doing. I'm taking these things apart and I'm saying, oh shit, like, all the technology that comes out is in reference to what we got already equipped within our bodies.
Right.
So uh, again, it's just about, like Red said, adding value to what we're doing. And you know, it just comes with a level of assertiveness. You got to just start doing it, you know, and that's what we're in the process of doing it. You're seeing it happen in real time, you know.
My aim goal is to create a budget for you, and you know, when you graduate, to bring you in onto you know, the aspect of smart clothing, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Aspect of what that I'm inspired by what Idris Sandu is doing. He has a company called Spatial Labs, and his new product is called Hardware. And he's dealing with smart clothing, right? Smart slippers, smart t-shirts, you know, and they're communicating with technology, the Internet of all things, right? They're gonna roll that out very soon after Web 3.0 is established and whatnot. So from a standpoint of your intellect and whatnot, we need the engineers. We need somebody sufficient in science in order to even tweak and to do what needs to be done innovatively inside of this quote unquote clothing industry, because regular clothing, all it is, the cotton industry, you know, there's a disruption that's take place. They're integrating cotton with technology the same way the technology has disrupted every other sector. That's going to be the newest boom. So you know, like how people have Fitbits and whatnot, right?
Right.
There's the reports back about how many calories you burn. You're going to have that on your socks. You're going to
Right.
have it on your clothing and whatnot. It's going to be able to tell you your body fat just based off of the shirt that you put on. You dig what I'm saying? You go to
Yeah.
the gym, you put that t-shirt back on after your workout. It's going to be able to tell you, you know, strategically what the regimen should be to get a certain type of body, you know, morph and whatnot. We are definitely in one of the most interesting times that our ancestors blogged about when they were writing on stone and shit like that thousands of years ago. We're here right now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I want
fat,
to I want to
mhm.
go ahead, go ahead.
Add on, please.
It's funny you said that with the wearables, because even with me doing the God Body Challenge, you know, again, I've always said to people with the God Body Challenge, which those who don't know is a 3 to 5 day fast, you know, no solid food, just water, right? I want to be able to, because right now with the God Body Challenge, you guys are seeing like a build up to something. You guys are seeing the beginning of something a little, you know, a lot bigger. So You know, with the God Body Challenge itself, just imagine, you know, setting up a reward system for those who can do 5 days. But the whole time you're doing a fast, you either got to wear like a wrist, like a Fitbit, or you got to wear the clothing that's going to be able to gauge if you're actually doing the fast. And for
Right.
those who actually go through it, because what it's doing is it's monitoring the body. It's checking the heart rate. You know, it knows when the body is consuming food and when it's not consuming food. So during the God Body Challenge, if you're doing 3 to 5 days, you know, and you have a reward system set up, that's going to motivate you to even further, not only get healthy, but also move through the fast, because, you know, again, there's something set up for you to actually acquire with going through it. And not only that, you're going to be wearing something that is actually gauging on if you're really doing a fast. So for those who actually do 5 days, we know who did 5 days based on the technology, you know, that we're involved with. And that
Right.
way, oh, yeah, go
Right.
ahead.
The data, the big data, the metadata is going to come back and is going to basically put you in the runnings with other people who are also following the mandates of the fast and whatnot. But like you said, the key to changing this community, or I call it a network, the key to the next phase of where we're going to go is the implementation of 3 systems. And you
Mhm.
mentioned one of those systems, but I've been rallying to implement these systems into this community for the longest. And I see that the best way to implement these systems is through the technology and things of that nature. And that's the reward system. The fact that many of us are doing what needs to be done and whatnot. Many of us are handling our business and we're stepping it up. Why are we not being rewarded? Every
Right, right.
community has a reward system. YSL in the salons have a reward system. If you go out there and clip something, they got a bag for you, right?
Yeah,
They murder for hire. Um, the Rainbow Coalition, they got a reward system. They elevate their people to higher levels and whatnot. They get you a job at the Gap. If you know what I mean, if you like, yo, I think I'm into this, automatically you could work at Old Navy in the Gap. There's reward systems.
right,
We
right,
need
right,
a value system
right.
implemented into this community. How is somebody supposed to feel appreciated if there's no value system in this community? They base value off of followers. They base value off of how many people watching your live. They base value off of how many likes you get on a post. Stupid, mundane shit. You know what I mean? There's no qualification, not dealing with the intellects that we are in this community. Where's our value system? You know what I mean? Like there should be a social credit system implied positively, though, not the way that China might be doing it, but positively where you get judged or you get credit the same way that you get credit from paying your bills on times. Well, you'll get credit based off of the work that you do in this community. If you
Mm,
put in community service, then your credit score will go to an 800 based off of the work that you're doing. If you out here curing people from herpes and AIDS and cancer and whatnot, you're supposed to have 800 credit. Wherever you go, you're supposed to get free wraps and whatnot. You're supposed to be able to lounge and lodge for free. You should be able to travel for free. There's supposed to be frequent flyer plans. You're supposed to be able to go to the islands if you're out here doing work on people with your hands, your healing hands, helping people, saving people's lives, teaching babies and whatnot. That is what we need, a value system. The teachers should be at the top of our value system. The artists, the artisans should be at the top of our value system. The healers should be at the top of our value system. So we won't have to go through people really not giving it their all because they don't feel appreciated. And inside of this quote unquote social media world, it's almost like you got to jockey, you got to be jumping for, you got to bob for apples to get people's attention. And what about the people who are not tech savvy and they don't want to twerk online and whatnot to get your attention? They don't want to set thirst traps to sell their fucking sea moss.
Right, right. It's a reward system, and we call ourselves a community, but at the same time, it's really nothing conducive that represents a community when you're talking about a conscious community. So we got to start mobilizing again in a way where, you know, again, setting up a reward system, which is then going to place a level of value on the individual. And that
Right.
way, that'll motivate you to do the work. So then if you're doing the work, again, your credit score is going up. And so in that case, then now you're put on a pedestal and people see you and recognize you for who you are. So then when you can, that'll give you the capacity to walk through certain doors and be acknowledged by certain people.
Right.
And, the networking to be crazy because people publicly know what you represent. And not only that, but you got receipts to show it. You know what I'm saying? So it comes with, because what needs to happen is there needs to be, because right now there's a wedge being created between individuals who really demonstrate and do the work, and then also who pretend and who be big stepping and tiptoeing around the situations.
Right.
But we need to start creating a situation where it's like a what do you call it? Like a school, but not only a school, but you got to go through certain levels and actually pass certain, whether it's tests or things of that nature in order for you to get to a different level. So again,
That's
this being put
right.
in.
That's
Like
what we built out in the Netaverse. I'm glad that
meta,
you brought. Yeah, that's what the Netaverse is all
right,
about.
right,
Earn to learn, right? Earn to learn. So that's really what the Netaverse is going to be about. You know what I mean? Before you even enter the Netaverse, you're going to have to make it through the academy, the
right,
Netaversity. You feel me?
right.
You're going to get through the Netaversity, and it's almost like an assessment test. When anybody that's on this line, when you go into corporate America, or anytime that you go into any type of structure and whatnot, you're going to be assessed. They're going to have an assessment test. You dig what I'm saying? You're going to have to go through orientation and whatnot. The prerequisites there, the prerequisites and whatnot. They give you corporate mandates and whatnot. There's corporate structure that you have to follow and whatnot. There's called corporate culture. You feel me? You're just not walking into fucking Goldman and Sachs with your fucking pants hanging down. You know what I mean? But with bringing your shit to the table. You feel
Right.
me? Because what they've established in corporate America is the third system that I'm that I'm advocating for, and that's the penalty system. Okay.
Right.
The way that you take a deregulated, anything that's deregulated, crypto is deregulated. The metaverse, Web3 is deregulated, right? It's decentralized and it's deregulated. That's why they have the SEC hearings with XRP, and they're out here with with Joe Biden. He has a whole administration with Secretary Yellen and whatnot to regulate crypto, right? Regulation is penalties, right? When you introduce penalty systems into a deregulated place, you do what? You correct it and you bring structure and whatnot. So the fact that this community is deregulated because there's a lot of people out here that are swindling people. They don't have nobody to answer to. They can hide behind their phone and whatnot. They don't come outside. They live in Boise, Idaho. And when they do come outside, they're moving in a way where they're avoiding the quote unquote contact of somebody that could penalize them for the fuck shit that they be doing and getting away with and whatnot. So they're moving in the shadows. So a deregulated community is a community where people will always get taken advantage of. They'll always say this person ran off with my money. They're always going to be like, this person didn't do what they said they was going to do. They're always going to be people who are going to pop up and take your information and try to pass it on as themselves in their secret private Facebook group and whatnot amongst the unsuspecting masses who never heard of Alkebulan, right? But
Right.
there's a that when we implement the penalty system, we could put a cap on all of that cap. You feel me? Because now you're going to have to answer to a council or a coalition or to your whole network and whatnot. When you step out of line, you could get spanked.
That's a fact. And that's exactly what needs to happen, because nobody is holding each other accountable. Everybody is getting away with something. You know what I'm saying? And again, there needs to be a situation where you could tell the real from the fake. And a lot of people are running off with a lot of information, and they then go to their little community and start, speaking as if it's their own. But, it needs to be a reward system. We're so critical of ourselves too, so if it's a situation where we're
And
buying somebody that looks like us and it's 2 days late, we already cutting them off and everything like that. But at the
right,
time, we don't do that to the other community, or the other culture per se. So, yeah, there
right.
needs to be a situation where there's a level of structure And the penalty system would do that because, again, it'll keep you, it'll make you Mr. Morale. It'll create a scenario where, you naturally develop some more, some morals and some values among yourself if you want to stay in.
Yeah, because a lot of, I don't mean to cut your wisdom. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. You good.
A lot of people leave their morals at the door when they know that they're walking into something deregulated.
Right.
Look around, be like, oh, there's no watchtower. Nobody's watching me. You feel me? I'm gonna just. I've been on some moral shit so long in this regulated space that I'm able to let my nuts hang in this space that's deregulated. And then once they let their nuts hang, then they start doing whatever they want to do and whatnot. And they start acting like they're gonna push the limits to see how far they can go. And once they see that they can go far, they're gonna go super far. If you don't think what we witnessed in this community in the past few months with the quote-unquote exposure of the cults, if you don't think that there's groups of individuals right now saying, I'm going to take it further than this nigga, and they're actually trying to do it in real time, you are super naive. You don't realize that some people don't die, they multiply.
Right. Yeah.
People don't die, they multiply. The only way that so now the leader of a cult is being penalized in the penal system. They're going to levy some type of penalties on them. So individuals who are on the outskirts saying, yeah, I want to run a cult myself, they're watching and they're saying, is it worth it? Because this shit comes with a penalty.
It comes with a penalty. Right. And you got to come, because again, like you said, if you get in a situation or a community that doesn't have any penalty system, now you completely leave, like you said, your morals at the door, and people really begin to see who you are. It's almost a situation where you flex for so long, pretending as if you're somebody you're not, and developing the crowd around you and people buying into you. But at the same time, now you walk into a community and you see nobody is there to watch you. So now all of a sudden, all these demons come out, and you start really tearing some shit up, because again, there's nobody holding you accountable for what you're doing. So like you said, last couple of months, we bear witness to certain people in the community who, whose skeletons came out the closet. And, like I said, the universe already is gonna, follow through with a level of checks and balances. You know what I'm saying? The universe got a lot at stake as well. So
right,
if you're going to come into a community that represents something that's very ancient, that's very galactic, that's very, spiritual, and you think that you're going to come in and, swindle the people, like you got another thing coming. So it's, again, but it's about actually creating, again, a physical representation of a penalty system. So that way, we don't allow these individuals to get too far into the community where they done ripped off hundreds of people, and, we can hold them accountable for what they did. So at
this point, the council is the ancestors at this point in the game. It's not physical, it's spiritual, right? So Sister Myra said on Brother Richard's show, the most gravest offense that you could commit in this community is the abuse of power, right? Because we're all bestowed with a level of power now, especially those of us who have been able to hold on for a while and whatnot. We've been given a level of power and influence to whereas we can influence the influencers. So if you abuse that, then you are going to get handled by an unseen force that deals with the checks and balances.
Right.
And you might think that you could get away with some stuff, but there's going to be a grave penalty that's going to come with that. Shameless plug real quick. If this conversation that y'all hearing is enticing to you in any type of way, this is what we're going to be talking about tomorrow in our class, right? I'm going to open it up where I'm going to talk about the virus of vicariousness. The virus of vicariousness is the fact that people are living vicarious through other people, and that's a virus. And I'm going to break down why that's a virus. But not only am I going to break down why that's a virus, I'm going to also include how this three-pronged method, the methodology that we were just talking about, this three-tier system of penalties, value, and the penalty system, the value system, and the quote unquote
The reward system.
the reward system, this is going to break the spell of living through somebody else. Because if I now have a value system where I'm being valued and whatnot, why the fuck will I follow somebody else? I really can't just follow somebody else and parakeet them and try to clone them like they're cloning these pages and whatnot, because I'll get called out. I
Right.
won't be able to level up. I won't have the same type of value if I came in with an original thought. If I came in with an original doctrine and I stood on that, if I come in with original, because even if I say, yo, I got this from Bobby Hemmett, there's no slight in that. Nobody said that you can't take or you can't borrow or you can't lend from your master teachers. That's what we've been doing since we've been in kindergarten. The only thing is you should be able to give credit where credit is due.
That's a fact. And if you stay true to that, naturally, again, as a teacher, you'll begin to acquiesce to a specific design. And when I say design, I'm speaking about a specific way that you teach, the way that you deliver, because you done watch so many people for so long. You're staying humble, you're pure at heart. Naturally, you'll begin to develop your own characteristics through these individuals. And people
Right.
may be able to say, like, damn, you remind me of Phil Valentine, or damn, you remind me of Bobby Hemmett. But at the same time, you're doing your own demonstration. But you know to yourself that you've acquired certain things from these teachers. And in all honesty, me personally, what I'm doing is basically being the teacher that I've always wanted to see. So, you know, I'll pick and choose certain things that people are talking about, do a deep dive into it, and be like, damn, like if I was this, if I was him, I would have said it like that. Or,
Right.
you know, I was teaching this, I would have did that, or I would have even down to wearing that. And it, you know, quite literally, like I said, if you move in that way, you'll begin to again develop all these characteristics that represent the master teachers, but at the same time, you're your own individual. And yeah, you know, with doing that again, you know, it's a word I was looking for that I just lost. But yeah, that's key, because you begin to develop your own characteristics.
It's
Um,
like picking a fighting style, right? From one of the martial art masters and whatnot. You adapt their
you would,
style and then
right,
you add pieces of your own style. Imagine playing Street Fighter and you know it's Street Fighter 8 and you pick a character and this nigga is a clone of Ken.
right,
He's
right, right.
doing Hayugans and all kind of shit. You like, nigga, where's the originality? You feel me?
Where's the originality? Right, right,
Originality. It's the future in the designer scenario with Panda. You know what I
right,
mean? So it's
right.
like we want to raise the bar in this community when it comes to teaching and whatnot. We want to break, we want to be able to thank you. You just got your ticket. I appreciate you. KTLUniversity.com is where you get your ticket. The links are in both of our bios. Raising the bar is going to benefit not only us, but our children and whatnot. Because I promise you, and I shit you not, this generation of teachers right here, right, this shit right here, we are on big screen TVs with 2 and 3 and 4-year-olds watching us. I've been in many households and I witnessed that. And the babies are so sharp these days at 4, 5, 6, and 7 and 8 that they could formulate the information. They could take it in and they'll formulate their own thoughts.
Right,
So it's a little bit different than the teachers that preceded us because they were teaching young adults and teenagers. We're teaching babies.
right.
So only benefit us more if we were to really begin to practice originality and some type of a value system where we are edifying those that came before us, to the point to where if you edify the teachers who taught you, you will develop more love in your heart for them, rather than taking their information and running with it and trying to bury the fact that you're not saying their name, you're not evoking their name, you're not giving them any credit, especially if they're in the ancestor realm. You in the shadows and you know that you're wrong, and you still looking around in the crowd to see, does one of these niggas smell the bullshit? Okay, let me keep going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But see,
That's
those
that's just
right, those type of individuals, you know, when they're in a form of solitude, is painful, you know, because they got to self-reflect on themselves. If you know you're doing something, you know, where you're taking information and discerning it and acting like it's yours and not really paying homage. You know, when you're by yourself, you taking a shower, or, you know, you at the crib, the TV's off, and you sitting there by yourself, like, God damn, I know what I'm doing is not right. I know it, but it's working though. It's working, and I'm, yeah, yeah.
Looking at
So
the big, you looking at the 100 inch that you just swindled out of Walmart. You like, I'm a dirty fucking dog, but it's working, dog. I got the floor model and the shit on the wall.
yeah, and that's how they be. So even like you said, like the kids are a lot smarter these days. Mine personally, I demonstrate myself around my kids, and I always tell my kids, radiation is information. So you don't even have to necessarily sit down and teach them anything. If they're watching what you're doing and you're emitting a certain energy, naturally that's teaching their DNA. You know, and I really want to get into the science of that. We'll say that for the class, but they're
Right.
teaching DNA, you know, how to imitate you, and you're letting off a certain energy that's, you know, basically allowing their anatomy to basically, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically acquiesce to
Coalesce.
the information that you're doing. So I
Right.
always tell my kids, radiation is information. You know, my daughter, to my little son, I tell my, you know, 11-year-old daughter, you know, to, you know, make sure that you're, you know, you say please, thank you. Make sure, you know, when facial expression, you know, when mom has asked you to do something, like, you know, make sure that you do it and you do it politely. You don't make a certain face because your 3-year-old brother's watching you. You know, you don't have to sit down and necessarily teach him his ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, but he's watching you. And again, radiation is information. We naturally emit infrared radiation, you know, so that teaches the DNA. And, you know, lo and behold, you start to see the little one that's following the big one, imitate them. And
All
you know, everything that they're doing, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, you know, and we'll, again, like I said, we're gonna speak on that in the class tomorrow, but radiation is a form of information. You don't have to physically sit down and read a book. You can be around certain people and learn things. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
yeah, that was a bar. Shout
Yeah.
out to Top in the building. Shout out to SecMed in the building. You know, it's just it's amazing, you know, how much of a sponge the little ones are these days. You know, and they're fully digital. They're divinely tapped in to the mycelium network of the digital world. You know what I mean? The quote unquote, you know, they're in the matrix, and that's not a bad thing. I always say you really have to ask yourself, where are they going to be 20 and 30 years from now? You know what I mean? We had things like Atari at our disposal when we were little ones. You know, we were mastering 8-bit and whatnot. They're in the new world. They're being born into worlds of meta Web3 with the metaverse and super hyper realistic you know, computations and animations.
Right.
So in 20 years from now, they're going to be on the fourth and the fifth dimension. They're going to be somewhere completely that you probably can't even fathom unless you have the vision to look 100 years down the tunnel and whatnot. So we cannot live in a world of, you know, oh, the babies are on the tablets and the iPhones, and you know that's so evil, and you
Right.
know we would fare better if we were to begin to assist them, right, in their learning or their mastering of these quote unquote modalities, right, before the curve gets so wide that they can't even jump. They won't even be able to make it across the information or the digital highway. Right now, though, the curve is not that wide to whereas you could teach a 5 and a 6-year-old how to code. You could teach a 13 and a 14-year-old how to build utilizing new languages like JavaScript, CSS plus, and all of these things. This is so doable right now. And as they evolve, right, and as they become more confident and comfortable and whatnot, they're going to be teaching you.
That's a fact. That's a fact. And you know, me personally, you know, I mean, I was teaching my daughter coding at 3 years old, at 4 years old. You know what I'm
Luke,
saying? And for those who homeschool their kids, because I homeschool mine. You know, there's a website called Scratch. I want to say Scratch.com. perfect website for kids to go and learn how to code. That's what I had my daughter on since she was young. But
Hold on. I don't mean to cut your wisdom.
yeah,
Shout out to J Crypto. You could Google 10 websites to teach kids coding for free.
that's
And you can also Google 10 websites or apps to teach kids how to create their own video game for free. But please go ahead.
yeah, you know, that's true. So like we're talking about technology. We're talking about technology, the advancement of technology, moving into more of, you know, robotics and things of that nature, artificial intelligence. It's interesting because Blue, he sent me an article and he's been speaking about this as of recently about the fact that what's going to happen is the artificial intelligence is going to start teaching the humans, and you know, that's going to be catastrophe in and of itself. But we got to again start teaching the kids that, and I've always said this, that we are actually the highest form of technology. So don't get bent out of shape when you see your 5 and 6 year old on a tablet, on a phone. Understand that instead of pulling it away from them or trying to remove them from technology, teach them how it works. You know, teach them how, how to, I don't know, get like, you know, a simulation. They got certain simulations on the internet where you can learn how to build robots and things of that nature. Get them involved with the technology, because you don't want them to, like you said, be 5 and 6 steps behind 2 or 3 years from now and begin to look at technology as somebody that is greater than them. And now they
Right.
got technology to get certain information. You want to always let them know that not only are they the highest form of technology, but they hold all the information. They're the ones that the technology is supposed to adhere to. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
But
We're
that's
going
valuable.
right. We're going into that weird space where, you know, we're beginning to now think that artificial intelligence is smarter than you and I are. But that's
Right.
why, again, we're having these classes and teaching this high level metaphysics and science so that you can understand the anatomy. You can understand your symbiotic relationship to the universe. You can understand the mechanics of the physical reality and know how to manipulate it in real time. You can
Right.
understand quantum physics. You can understand electromagnetism. Because when you equip the mind with the necessary tools, the body is naturally going to set up a resonance for you to empower yourself, but also attract certain level of information to you. But it's about
Right.
just doing the work, diving deep, and actually picking up a book and spending 2 or 3 hours going into it, highlighting certain things, then juxtaposing that word to that word. Then you're going to Google, typing the definition to that in. Okay, that means that. Boom. Then back to the book. Then and really just getting it in to, again, to a point you've literally you've really applied the mind with the necessary tools, again, for the body, the physical body, to respond. And the body is going to set up a resonance in reference to the information that you took in order for you to continue that path and continue and to follow and walk into certain doors of information that people aren't privy to. And
Right.
maybe a year from now, you done stumbled on some information. You're looking around and you're like, oh shit, ain't nobody on this. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is something that's exclusive to me. So that's then how you begin to develop your own gifts and your own talents. And you can then begin to call out certain numbers and colors. And people are asking you, like, what, bro? Like, what are you doing? Like, what is this that you're doing? And you're looking at them like, I'm just doing me. I'm just carving my own space. You know what I'm saying? Based on the level of information and the work that I do in real time. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about. And, again, the class is tomorrow at 11 a.m. and we're going to be going in. Like I said, I'm going to be delivering some information, and people, I'm sure, a lot of people aren't privy to, but that's why I spent hours doing research, years doing research, so that I can give it up to the people. And that way, with this new age of technology that we're moving into, we begin to see the value in ourselves, and we begin to move in step and even beyond what technology is introducing us today. So that's what it's about, man.
And I totally agree with you. Like when you mention that the children and also people of our age demographics, it is imperative that we know that we are smarter than the computers. That's
Right,
why you are of high value, because if we were to take the conversations that the 85ers or the majority of people who are melanated are having, it wouldn't, you know, you would definitely think the computers are smarter than us. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
The
right.
fact that we're down at the end of the day. But when individuals such as yourself come forward with the science,
Yeah.
with being able to really break down how the human mind and how the human brain and how the human body and how the cells work,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no, it erases any doubt that somebody who is of an inferior mind state may have about their superior bodies or their superior mind. And this
Right,
is something that this public education system has successfully done. The media is in tandem with it, and a whole bunch of other things and whatnot. To whereas they want us to completely forget how powerful we are, how wise we are, how intelligent our body design is, amongst other things. And of course, they want us to look up to technology, artificial intelligence, and shit like that, as if that is our superior. These are inferior people who are losing their inferior status. White supremacy just went out the window when they had the admittance of UFOs, and they was like, we don't know where they come from. They
right.
was like, they advanced than us. So if they just had hearings to say that there's unidentified flying objects, that they don't know the origins of them, and the technology is more advanced than them, so why are you still saying white superiority? How, Sway? How's the white man more superior now? They've been getting away with that for so long, but they've identified something outside of themselves that are more superior. And if something outside of themselves is more superior, it can't be them. Because if they was flying around in flying saucers, every hood in America would be getting flame torched every fucking Sunday. You know what I mean? They would have a barbecue every Sunday. They would be malefic towards niggas. And that's not what we see going on for the last few hundreds of years since they said that there was abductions and sightings and whatnot. It's not in fucking Cabrini Green, niggas, not in the hood, right? Yeah, Elijah Muhammad talked about the will, and these are benevolent, these are not malefic entities that have any threat to us per se. When you hear about the rundown, it's them that's in danger.
Right, right. Damn. You done sparked my mind to go so many places right now. But we gonna say that for the class. Man, like
Yeah.
we're saying, man, you know, uh, and it's crazy because, you know, when I introduced this algorithm, the color red, you know, I told people in the caption basically that, you know, this algorithm is going to initiate the information about civilizations that exist outside of space and time on different planets and things of that nature. So there's an article that I came across with, ironically enough, about China. I think in 2025, what they're going to do is start trying to find habitable places in space, different planets and things outside of our Milky Way where humans can inhabit, unbeknownst to them that they're going to run into individuals that look like us. And again, that information is going to come out in reference to me putting out this specific algorithm. But yeah, and I'm actually going to put up an article. I'm going to put that article up today. But yeah, you know, it's again like you know, the digger they deep, the darker it gets, and
Mm.
we are the highest form of technology. When human beings, right, that can combine experimental knowledge of cosmic anatomy structure with thought guided by real intent, that's how we become a superpower. So that's why I always introduce information about the body that's not necessarily popular, but it gives you a superpower because, again, you're equipping the mind with certain information that's necessary for you to resonate at a certain level that literally empowers you in real time. So that way you can process bars that are coming from higher dimensions, and you know, you can have a communion with the sun, and you can even go as far as to initiating solar flares from the sun. And I'm gonna touch on that too as well in the class. I touched on it a little bit in the first class, but you know, again, we hold dominion over the cosmos. So when you can adhere to the universal laws and you allow the mind to open up and you grow it and build it up by raising your voltage, going outside, putting your bare feet in the grass, getting sunlight, fasting, you know, you become a literally a superhero. You know, in that moment again, that gives you the capacity to literally manipulate not only time and space, but your physical existence in real time. So that's the type of information that I'm getting into tomorrow in class. And again, it's millions of dollars worth of information. But, I just feel like it's very important for us to have this higher level of information, especially, in the times that we're in now, so that we can, again, start imprinting a level of value into ourselves and really seeing ourselves for who we are. So.
Right. Man, phew. There's nothing else to be said, my brother.
Right.
You delivered, and we will be delivering much more in the AM, in the rising. If there's anybody in the ATL that want to tap into a powerful plant-based medicine healing tonight, sound bowls, plant-based. I don't want to say anything over the, on the air that's gonna, flag anything, but you understand what I'm talking about.
Right.
Julie in town, and he has a team of practitioners, and they doing the work. They doing the healing work for the people. So y'all can inbox me about that. But I'm going to end this live, and I'm going to highly suggest that everybody in the building go over to KTL University and go and tap into the class. The class also comes with a bonus. You get the first class that we did for free, right? You know what I mean? The first class that we did, that shit was lit. I think that was in March,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah. Somatic and the illest to bring static. Yeah.
Yes. The illest to bring the static, right? That comes with the ticket along with our class. The class is going to be about 3 hours. It will be recorded. When you go to KTL University, that's all you need to do. You don't got to jump through no hoops or nothing. You don't got to wait for no emails. You get your ticket. You get your link. It's a Zoom. It's online only. You get it in the AM and whatnot. And we going upstairs because at the end of the day, our hands are tied. We don't have no other options. We can't go any lower.
Right. Yeah.
Go lower. We can't dumb this shit down any more lower than it's already dumbed down. You feel me? So it's up and it's stuck at this point. The only place that we can go with this information is upward. And at the end of the day, I promise you, and I said it before, I don't want to be the sharpest tool in the room, or I don't want to be the smartest man in the room. I don't want to be the sharpest tool in the box. But when I'm in that room and I open my mouth, I want the smartest in the room to pay attention. And the way that they pay attention is by getting our concepts together, getting our ideas together, getting our lexicon together, knowing what we're talking about. So those who have wisdom and those who are knowledgeable, when they hear you talking, they like, this nigga knows what he's talking about. I'm tapped in. You know what I mean? Tell me more.
Right.
You know,
right.
because that's where and we're heading into a situation where, it's going to be quality of membership. They're not going to let dumb niggas in the building.
Quality of right.
They're not going to let people with a certain level of education into certain places. You're going to be stuck with them knuckle draggers while China and these niggas go past the firmament and they on some type of, college. You're going to have to pass a test in order to get on them spaceships. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have to know some type of biology and science, my niggas, I promise you. So while we're here and while we're available and while we're teaching and while we're on this level, please take advantage of it and tap in. They could come and snatch Alkebulan up for Nassau one day, and you know what I'm talking about. You're gonna be really busy. You be like, "Yo, is your brother gonna do any more classes?" Yeah, he's booked to 2026. You know what I mean? We'll see him afterwards.
Yeah, that's a fact. So, like while we're in house and while we're accessible, it's a perfect opportunity again to get $1 billion worth of information. And that class is going to be in full demonstration tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern time. It's top floor decor, so again, we going to the highest of heights, and pulling bars down. And, I feel like, our people has a certain level of value that needs to be granted. And that's exactly what we're going to do tomorrow. So without further ado, and with that being said, Red, I think and told him,
Yes. I believe we'll be tapping into the YouTube a little bit later on for the YouTube events. Yeah, we're going to be doing Third Eye Fridays. But with that being said, love and light to the family. I appreciate everybody's attendance and your attention and your feedback in the chat. It was very empowering. We appreciate y'all. You know what I mean? We value you. I'm talking about that part. All right.
All right. Peace.